Hi there, this is Kirsten. This is week 2 of the 6-week series, Meditation 101. This is all about up-leveling your emotional states. It is one of the most profound ways in which we can really bring forth things in life that we desire, is to pay attention to the state, how we're feeling at any given moment. Because we don't attract what we want, we attract who we are. So if we're operating from a repetitive pattern of behavior and knee-jerk reactions of emotions, then we are continually going to manifest the same familiar life that we are already living. We're going to feel that we're stuck and we're trying to struggle and to get places in relationships. So what we want to do is also take a look at where, we're taking an inventory on where in our life, where in our relationships, where in our hobbies and our interests where we are, so that we could start to really see where we're playing a role from an emotional state that isn't serving us. So we're going to begin by being present with how we feel and what our thoughts are. Having this awareness in the meditation, checking in with our thoughts and our emotions gives us the doorway into where we're hanging out. And it's never to judge it or to feel frustrated with ourselves, because what we're going to do is acknowledge the emotion instead of sweeping it under the carpet. We're going to acknowledge how we're feeling so that we begin to let it settle into more neutral vibration. And we're going to be able to then move into an incremental, better feeling state. So that's the process. So how we're going to do this is we're going to be able to sit in meditation by bringing ourselves to our breath. When we are sitting in our breath, we begin to open up with the intention to connect with your higher self and with the infinite mind. I'm comfortable with the word God, the infinite mind, the universal source energy, whatever words work for you. But know that you are more than just your physical body. You are a spirit, and you are a vibrational aspect that's connected to all things. And we are a source of peace, joy, and ease. But when we're in an emotional state that's on an incremental scale of fear, love is here, but we're hanging out in the lower scales of fear. We're closing off our chakras to that oneness, to that infinite mind. And we begin to have a narrow focus. And we begin to have stress hormones triggered. We become dis-ease, as it is called. So we have a dis-ease in our body, which means we might get headaches, we might get stressful, we might feel like our solar plexus and our digestion is just so tight, we have shallow breath. We're unable to really have that elongated breath in to open up the lung capacity to its fullness, to draw in that healing oxygen into every cell of our body, into our brain. And when we're not having that open flow, we're in the opposite. And that is where the law of attraction, when we are in a state of fear, lack, scarcity, not enough time, or someone is out to get us, we have all these things on our to-do list, and I'm going to get fired fear, whatever those things are rolling in your subconsciousness. Or even you could be conscious of it. You could be afraid to disappoint someone, afraid to be judged. And the list goes on. And what we're going to do is just notice what we're noticing. Notice that this is a pattern and a behavior and a belief that we've been carrying for so long. And it's fear, the acronym is false evidence appearing real. And we have edged God out. That's the acronym for ego. We've pretty much closed down, shut down our energy flow, and we've edged God out, and we have given into the illusion of fear. There might be a fire, when you smell smoke, you run. If you remember, you put your hand on something hot, we are aware of that anxiety of doing it again. But beyond that, there is no real threat. So we have to understand, have a proper perspective, is to give attention to how we're feeling so that we can have that settle into the truth, settle into creating a new knee-jerk reaction and inner dialogue and thought process. So let's begin in this 7 days, week 2, on becoming aware of our emotional states. Learning how to articulate how you feel at any given moment is powerful. It is one of the most highest forms of intelligence, is to know how you feel and articulate and be that leader from that being an anchored soul, being anchored in your own power, being just so grounded that no matter what is happening, you're never wavered from the external environment. There's 4 things that you can do to start to really check in. And we're not spiritually bypassing our emotions. We're not sweeping them under the carpet. Every opportunity to sit with our emotions in meditation will help up level your emotions. It takes away the constrictions that we have on our subconsciousness. We don't even know. We're going to begin to unveil that. Even energetically, we just feel lighter. Here are 4 ways in which we can do that. The first thing is become present with how you're feeling and what you're thinking. 2, if you're feeling a palpable sensation and something that's coming on, avoid chasing the thought down a rabbit hole, because we tend to go into a unconsciousness sleep mode as we begin to engage with the story, as we give meaning to it and judge it. So we don't want to chase it down the rabbit hole. We want to become aware of the thought and sensation. As we do so, we just give it an opportunity to be seen and felt and within our body. That might take a few moments of noticing your breath, noticing where in your body you hold that emotion, and just noticing the thoughts and allowing it to come up without chasing it and adding to your judgment. Then, once we've been able to neutralize it enough, sometimes the infinite mind just comes in and opens up your expanded awareness around it and gives you an aha moment. Or it might give you something that you can be accountable for, something that you said, oh, wow, I did have a hand in that. I did react that way. Or maybe you're able to see that wider perspective and have compassion for the other person. So this is how we can begin to move that energy and to allow it to come up, to be seen, and to learn from it. Sometimes there might be an opportunity for you to let it go and heal. And then going into the third part. The third part is rephrasing your thought. So once I become empowered by changing my thoughts around it to a neutral thought. So not just our emotions we want to bring to a neutral space, but our thoughts. So using in week 1, we began to use the words up until now, right? Kevin Carton gave me that, my mentor. I love it. It's one way to at least take your power back and have that foot to make that next step to experience that emotion of letting go. So it would be, if I'm afraid to sit in front of a class and give a meditation, then I'm saying, oh, I'm not good enough. How about let me try, let me learn. Up until now, I haven't got that experience. So that's the beautiful part of it. We get to move into a more empowered state by using our inner dialogue and at a neutral place and giving the power to the emotion of, yes, I can, and not, oh, forget it. The 4th thing is ask yourself, what is this costing me? When we are going through and we're feeling an emotion in our life that's not serving us, and sometimes we're reluctant and we're not wanting to let go of it, ask yourself what this is costing you. Sometimes it's costing you the ability to reach your dreams. Sometimes it's challenging you to let go and have forgiveness or compassion in relationships. We know that when we hold lower vibration towards somebody else, that we are in fact the ones who are suffering. And so you are the one who, like they say, is drinking the poison, and you're doing yourself a dis-ease in your body and mind and spirit. So we know what it's costing us. It's time, energy, lack of motivation. We get confused. We're no longer wanting to live in those states. So it's costing us, moving forward and feeling joyful and living life with more peace. And then once we acknowledge that, we begin to take a look at what we do want. And then we can emotionally bring ourselves into an openness in meditation to think about those steps and those creative flow of wisdom that can come through us to unstuck ourselves. Because one final thing I want to share is, we often hear people saying that's bad, that's good, that's unwanted, negative. But we want to begin to take a look at that nothing is to be judged in a way that's wrong or right or good or bad or positive or negative, because then we begin to go up and down on the emotional scales with those judgments. So the most powerful message that I could say to you is begin to just view it as information and call it the lower vibration or call it a higher vibration. This does magic to your meditation consciousness, because it's now allowing you not to be pulled into something so resistant and unwanted, but to allow yourself to not judge what you label as negative. So if you're feeling anger, just call it low vibration and acknowledge it. Like that inner child or a friend who wants to vent. As soon as you let them go there and you allow that energy to flow and to just connect with it and move with it, it just simmers down and it flows through you and out of you long enough to open up your ability to have that clarity or understanding or be able to see with a higher perspective. So that is my biggest thing that I could say to you is know that your emotions are what you are calling forth in your life. Knowing that when it's just information how we feel, emotions that are low vibration or high vibration are all very important for us to communicate, understand where we are in life and how to navigate.